So as is always at this time of the week, we love this feature. It's all about you. The aim is to show just how much life is a journey. And it can be hard. It can be really, really difficult. But you know what? You've lived through it. And you're here to tell that story, the wonderful fairy tale that is you. All of these things happen at times just to manifest together to make the wonderful human who you are today. And today on It's All About You, please welcome to the show, Aaron Paul Brown. Hello, darling.
Hi, Becky. You said my middle name as well. So
I know.
wow, I didn't expect that at all.
I thought I'd put the whole lot out there. I didn't put your age, though. Just, just
Excellent.
the full name.
Thank you so much for having me. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you for coming on. This is really exciting. I love this one. So we have a bit of a questionnaire that we fill in, or we ask our guests to fill in, so we can get a little bit of background on who we're talking about. Now, this is the longest one I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, if this was a CV, wow, I think you'd be covered, my friend. You'd be covered. But you were so excited, and I love this. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? Aaron Paul Brown. Whereabouts were you born, and who brought you up?
Well, I was born in Sheffield, in Scarsdale Hospital in 1972. Pretty much the same room that everyone in Chesterfield was born in the 70s. So so that was a bit weird. But yeah, anyway, and I was brought up by my mum and dad. So it's David and Leslie. My dad was an all-round great sportsman, and it was a lot to live up to, really. But he was a great sportsman, and set a high standard, I've got to say. So he was a great golfer. He came like third in all England. He played for England at table tennis.
Wow.
He was I think all Derbyshire snooker. He won that. Darts, just everything really. I think he played for West Brom in the 60s as well for football. So
just like that one
he was kind of quite competitive, but quite sort of inspiring as well. So that was good. And my mum, Leslie, she's originally from Weymouth, but moved up here in the 60s. And I think it was her who was who was singing to me quite a lot whilst I was young. So that kind of got me on the singing thing. So a bit of sports and a bit of singing. It completely represents me, really. So
in the background, I was going to say. So obviously you've got your very sporting dad, but he's saying it's your mum that was sort of singing to you a lot. But your dad was a massive Elvis fan.
He was actually, yeah. So Aaron, I mean that was Elvis's middle name. So
amazing.
I think I was named after Elvis. But I used to get a bit of flack when I was at school because it was quite an unusual name at the time. But it's not so much now, is it?
No, you're common now, Duck. Don't worry about that. You're common.
That's all right, Duck.
That's all right, Duck. As you were growing, you've got all these influences around you, very strong influences, sort of by the sounds of it. And you're living in Chesterfield. We know what Chesterfield's like. It's quite an intense place. We love it there. We do respect it, and we love it. So what was it like so great? Did you feel like you were pulled between sport and music, or was it always music that you sort of went more towards?
Well, I mean, we always used to have Top of the Pops on, and Mum was always singing, and I always used to play her records and stuff like that. But I always used to play, I used to play a bit of table tennis myself and a lot of football. And I got to about the age of 11, and it was like, right, okay, I had the opportunity to be in the Chesterfield Parish Church Choir, the Crooked Spire Choir. And I auditioned and I got in, and then, football had to stop really because it was like 3 or 4 times a week. So that was quite intense, but it taught me everything about music. So, I'm really grateful for that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you actually saw a picture of Aaron, right, and you saw him on stage at any point, I think it's fair to say that you would never have you down as a choir boy.
No, not at all. Not in the slightest. No, absolutely not. But I've actually got, honestly, I've not put it out there yet. I've got this group, This Is As a Brown Musician on Facebook. I've not put it out there yet, but I've saved it. But we were on Surprise Surprise with Cilla Black and Bob Carolgees in 1991.
No.
And it was just as I was growing my hair out, and I will put it out there at some point. So if everyone wants to laugh,
you've got to get it out there now. You understand this, don't you? Do you know what I mean? You let us know and we'll share that.
You will not believe it, Becky. Honestly, you will not believe it.
I think this is.
It's. I went up to my mum and dad's and got a video recording of it about a month back, and it's like, oh, shall I? Shan't I? I don't know. What should I do?
So why were you on that? Why? What with the choir?
Yeah. So basically, we represented Chesterfield. So we went all over the world, sort of, New York, Washington, Orlando, and this was to get us. Yeah. And Paris, Alkmaar, a lot of Chesterfield's twin towns, Darmstadt in Germany. So yeah, it was, and Westminster Abbey as well. We're singing Westminster Abbey in 1986, I think. So yeah, a lot of stuff. But we, it was basically they sponsored us to go. They sponsored a concert at the Crooked Spire, and it was absolutely rammed, and it made it so. God, I think it cost something like 150 quid each for us to go. Because they made so much money, we got to New York, Washington, Orlando. When we were in Washington, we were overlooking the White House, and we were in the Washington Hotel, for example. So yeah, it was an amazing experience, really, really good.
It certainly sounds like it. I mean, Americans would have loved you guys.
They really did, actually. Yeah, they were just, it was like we were rock stars or something. Like stars.
Well, that was maybe what gave you your spark, and maybe that's why you turned into going into a rock band. We'll come to that in just a moment. We'll be back with you in just a second. We are joined today on It's All About You with the lovely Aaron Brown, finding about his life so far and his career into music. Today's It's All About You is the lovely Aaron Brown. The legend that is with us now. So we've talked briefly, we've covered sort of some of the early years, and it seems to me like your big sort of thing into music was this choir. That seemed to have a massive impact on you from listening to you.
Yeah, massively. I mean, we used to rehearse 3 times a week, and then be there twice on Sunday. So it was a huge part of my life for 11 years, really. But I've come out of it thinking, well, it's almost like I can speak another language. I just know music inside out, which is a very, very good skill to have. I'm so thankful for those formative years, really.
I think this, like you say, and you mentioned within the sort of questionnaire that you filled out that, when you're a choir boy, sort of people take the mickey and you kind of think about sort of your reputation. But actually, what it did was give you a massive basis for the talent that you have right now. Absolutely,
yeah, it really did. It's a really good grounding, really good education, and like I say, I'm just so thankful for it, and I just know what to do now almost.
Yeah. So you left. Is it called the Crooked Spire Choir?
Well, no, it's the St Mary's and All Saints. But I just say that, because then people definitely know what it is, don't they?
I'm with you. I know exactly what you mean now. So you left. You did that till you were 20. At that point, were you at university, or what was your plans?
No, I mean, I was just down the pub, and obviously a few people were like, this guy's a choir boy. Well, why not come and sing for us? So I did, and I tried it out. I mean, I was into sort of like quite a lot of hard rock and metal at the time, which is completely at odds with the choir stuff. But I really loved it. I really loved the energy at the time. So I went along, and absolutely straight away, I was straight in, and it's very different from the choir. You have to kind of unlearn a lot of the the ways you pronounce every single word. I've been listening to music, all the music all my life, so I kind of you just copy your idols, don't you, really, I think. You certainly do. In fact,
I feel like I need to do this disclaimer again. I found a piece of music yesterday that was just insane. For someone, David Gilmour, his name is, and never seen it before in my entire life, and it blew me away. And I think when you're into your music as well, David Gilmour, Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Have a look at that.
Absolutely, Pink Floyd, yeah.
Oh, crikey, O'Reilly, that is insane. And when you watch it though, and you're into your music, and you're just looking at the technique of it and what goes into it and the power that it has, it's breathtaking, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, that was about Syd Barrett, the original member of Pink Floyd, who went a bit crazy, didn't they? So
was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the original member. They had a very different sound in the 60s, the late 60s. Syd Barrett, I think he just fried his brain a bit too much, and the rest is history, really. But that was a song about him, definitely.
It was a piece of music that it was just incredible.
Beautiful.
So you go from choir music into rock music. What was your first band?
Oh God, the very first band was called Treason, it was a bit. Yeah, we did make a recording, but I'm not going to put that out there, definitely. But it is quite funny listening back. But we played our first gig at the Shoulder of Mutton in Claycross, and I can remember lots of, for your first ever gig, lots of friends and family come down, and I can just remember seeing their jaws drop because it's a very different persona I've got on stage than off stage. It's like I come alive when I'm on stage, really. And that was a big turning point in me, I've got to say, for me, Becky, yeah.
It was a massive step. So what was that then? Was it just like, this is my vibe, this is where I get my... Because there is no better feeling than being on stage. And it's the same like if you're using a microphone to talk, or you're doing acting, or you are then you're performing. It is a buzz like nothing else, and it kind of rises you, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just that, you get the instant feedback of being on stage. It's like, yes, you're good, or yes, you're bad. And a lot of times, thankfully, it's been good for me. So, yeah, good. Yes, beautiful feeling.
Absolutely. And the thing is with all of these kind of things as well, Aaron, am I right in saying, your passion for music, you also speak quite a few different languages?
Oh, well, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do speak French and German, but I actually speak really randomly Indonesian.
Why?
So I went to Bali on holiday and just thought, wow, how can I come back here? This is just amazing. So I just threw myself into learning Indonesian. And, that was before, the internet was in its infancy, but this was about 2005 and 6. And it was tapes and, MP3s. It was hard to get, those sort of lessons you get online. But I threw myself into it. And then from there, I forged a bit of a career with artwork from Bali. And I had lots of exhibitions in Leeds, where I lived at the time. I met a girl there, and we were together for 5 years, and we spoke Indonesian in the house. I was going to say I'm almost fluent in Indonesian, which is really random.
Amazing. I love that. Your next track has got to be in Indonesian.
Oh, crikey. I have actually thought about it, and I have actually contacted some people in Bandung in Java today. And I have actually thought about it, but that'd be something to behold.
That will be the next step. But it seems to me as well, like you are one of these people that sort of you're all or nothing. You have to throw yourself into things.
I really did, yeah.
And again, it's lovely when you're on the stage and you get that vibe, but when things aren't so necessarily, there for you, it can be difficult, can't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. I have been through some bad patches as well. And actually, splitting up with that girl who I was telling you about, that I wasn't kind to myself after that. I don't like, I think it was the best for us to split up, but it was one of those times where, it was best for both of us. But a bit like I've read Anthony Kiedis's autobiography, the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he's always kind of chastised himself, when he split up with someone, because he doesn't like hurting anyone. No one likes hurting anyone, do they? But that really did it for me, and it was a good few years to get over that, really.
There's a phrase, and I was only thinking this myself the other day, is that some of the worst things that have ever happened in my life have become the best things that have ever happened to me.
Yes, absolutely. I can see that. Yeah, it's all part of the journey, isn't it? Really, and you have to really, you have to really look at your dark side sometimes and integrate it, and then actually make sure that a fuller person, I think.
Absolutely. You can appreciate yourself a little bit more. Right, Aaron Brown, we're going to be back with you again in just a second. We're going to play Janet Jackson, and we're still going to discover more of the life of the lovely Aaron Brown. Hopefully, we're going to be playing one of his songs as well. BBC Radio Sheffield with Janet Jackson. It is time for It's All About You, the magical journey of life, and today's life, it is all about the lovely Aaron Brown. Here he is, he's back. Aaron, honestly, I always say this, right? I feel like these features need to go on for about 4 years, so we can at least get things in there, We are coming sort of like towards the end of this right now, but I want to find out quite a lot more. So, you got into music, and one of your pivotal points you were saying was one of the things that you're most proud of was getting your music industry management degree.
That's right. Yes, so I was in a band called the Daisy Age in the late '90s, and when that split up, I was really gutted, and I went to uni down south in High Wycombe at Buckinghamshire, and I did a music management degree, and yeah, it was. I mean, obviously the first year's just a party, second year's a bit harder, and then the third year is just. Wow, full on. I can hardly remember it. There was so much work to do, and I can remember just being sat up quite a few times, just thinking, "Come on, get through it. You'll be all right after this," And it was really, really hard, especially some of the music law assignments we were doing. It was really, really in depth. But yeah, when I went down to see the board and I saw I passed and I got 2-1, and I actually cried.
Oh, bless you! Don't blame. There's nothing wrong with that. That's amazing. Yeah. What was your intention?
It was so good.
What did you want to do with that?
Well, I mean, I have followed it through quite a lot. So from there, I've been promoting quite a lot in Chesterfield. I moved back shortly after that, and I was putting on gigs at the Winding Wheel. I got the band Dodgy to play, and then I started doing a dance night, a house night called D-Tune, which was upstairs at the Green Room. So, and I got lots of sort of dance DJs. It was a deep house night, really.
Love it.
And it got really popular. And I even moved it to Leeds for a bit at the Back to Basics place. And then we even did it abroad when we went visited India. We did one on the beach there. It was a really, really good feeling. It was I have followed it through. I've still carried on with music most of my life, really.
So why did that kind of thing stop? What happened next after that?
Oh, well, D-Tune stopped really because of the smoking ban came in, really. So
oh, really?
It was that was it virtually killed the Green Room overnight. I can remember people just when you look at when you look at each other and think, oh, let's go outside for a fag, because you have to go outside. It's like it killed DJs, because they've been working a crowd, the ups and downs, and taking them to different places, and suddenly they've lost the dance floor. So that kind of stopped overnight, really, and then I didn't. I went with the Indonesian trip after that, really.
So you were in bands at this point as well. What it seems to me is your taste in music is quite eclectic.
Absolutely, yeah, all sorts, really.
Not one thing is the same. We've gone from choir to, I think we mentioned thrash metal at some point, and then we've sort of talked about dance music. Yeah, exactly. I love that though, because that's exactly me. I'll have Il Divo on in one ear, and then some hard rock in another. I love it.
Exactly.
So when you are in a band now, or so when you were in the next band, what was your major influence? What would you say you sounded like?
Oh, what 99 think?
Yeah, I mean, have you been different in every band that you've been in, or have they been pretty much the same kind of thread?
No, very different actually. So there was there's Treason, which was the sort of heavy rock. There was the Daisy Age, which was very progressive and still a bit funky actually. We just really tried very, very original sound. After that, it was the Chasers, the early 2000s, and we were kind of like an indie rock band, a bit like the Strokes or. Like an indie rock band, really. And then, what's it like now? A mix between Divine Comedy, Jellyfish, Verve. It's very eclectic again, but there's a really nice string sound running through the whole album, which is I think people need to hear, really.
Absolutely. And you say one of your proudest moments was winning Band of the Year 2002. Now, for people that are sort of from around here, I obviously know Band of the Year, being a Chesterfield girl, because everybody did. Anybody that was in music, Band of the Year was the thing to be at, wasn't it? And it was 2002 that you won that.
It was, yes, that was with the Chasers. So, and I've not been back in town long. I've moved back from High Wycombe. I moved back in 2001, and we got a band together really quickly. And we were all old mates as well. So, and it was great. I mean, there were about 800 people there, and the Winding Wheel's a lovely old venue. And my mum and dad and lots of my family and all my best friends there. It was an amazing feeling, Becky. Yeah.
I can imagine, and since then, it's just been your passion. You write every single morning. We're going to come to that in just a second as well, as we finish off and hopefully play your song as well, your latest song. Find out more in just a moment with Aaron Brown. It's all about you. Do you know, every time I hear that, I like it more and more. It's Joni Mitchell in Big Yellow Taxi, BBC Radio Sheffield. We are coming to the end right now. I know we could go on for another 14 years, I'm quite sure, but we're finishing at 11:45 today here on BBC Radio Sheffield. We are bang at the end of the life, the loves, the laughs, the highs, the lows of Aaron Brown. And Aaron, just before, we sort of have to say goodbye to you, you do something called S40 time, don't you? What's S40 time?
That's right. Well, S40 is the Chesterfield postcode, and that's it's celebrating the music, art, and culture of Chesterfield and Derbyshire and the Peak District. Actually, I'm putting it down to Derby as well. It's basically celebrating what we've got. So I had Dave McPheon, who actually got Joe Cocker's record deal in 1967. And I took him back to the very place where we recorded it, which is Pofferman's Music now on Chatsworth Road, which is about 100 yards from where I live. So I took him to the very place, and we had a good chat. And it's been really, really popular. And I'm now trying to get as many local musicians coming on and trying to stir a bit, encourage a bit, nurture a bit of a scene here again, really.
Love it, because it needs. Do you know, one of the things I've always loved about Chesterfield is passion for its local and live music scene, because you know what? You don't need to be in a massive city to do well. Chesterfield has got it. And this talent as well. You've got an album out. What's your album called? My album's called Exennial, and that's referring to like our generation, really, the one that's got one foot in each camp, the before and after of the millennium. So you got Generation X, and then you got the millennial. So it's Exennial. It's a mashup of those two. And there's quite a lot about, the influence of technology, the internet boom, the before and after, and you can see that in the artwork as well. It's really, I'm really excited. I can't wait for people to hear it. I bet you are. Where can they find it, darling?
Well, the album's going to be out in July. I'm going to have a launch party at Real Time in Chesterfield, but I have got a single out first, my debut single, which is Pure Water, and you can find that on Spotify and all major digital platforms, and it's Azza Brown, so it's A-Z-A, and then Brown, and Pure Water. But I've also got a YouTube channel as well. This is Azza Brown.
Absolutely love it. And to finally finish this off, this is now Aaron Brown and Pure Water. Thank you so much for joining us, darling.